Hello everybody, my name is David Fazio, founder and president of Helix Opportunity, and I would like to start out by thanking you for taking the time to watch this presentation on the power of designing a smart city with harmony at work. Particularly, the focus of this presentation is going to be on the biofeedback techniques that are incorporated in harmony at work, and it has to do with the 6 major pleasure chemicals. But in order to keep things simple, I will only be focusing on one major pleasure chemical of the 6 to give you some real-world type examples on how this can work. So without further ado, I will get started, and once again, thank you. A city is typically defined as smart when integrated information and communication technology solutions, or ICT, manage that city's assets, things like schools, libraries, transportation systems, hospitals, power plants, water supply networks, waste management, law enforcement, and other community services. The goal of building a smart city is to improve the quality of life of its residents by using technology to improve the efficiency of services and meet residents' needs. But truly smart cities have the potential to do so much more than just manage resources and efficiency. They can unlock the best of humanity and bring a society of all different backgrounds, cultures, perspectives, languages, and abilities together to meaningfully thrive day in and day out with something that I call harmony at work. This can happen when the city planners define and common sense design with a provocative purpose that meaningfully engages each of our 5 human senses. The biofeedback techniques inherent of this process can be incorporated to continuously rehabilitate our well-being in real time. This improves quality of life by reducing depression, crime, drug and alcohol abuse, other addictive behaviors, infidelity, sexual harassment, even rape, all while enhancing our spirituality. Biofeedback is a technique that improves health by controlling certain bodily processes that normally happen involuntarily. Things like heart rate, blood pressure, muscle tension, and skin temperature. Now this might seem a little complicated and scientific, but it's actually pretty simple. There's just one major goal, pleasure, and let's face it, you've already got your sights set on it in the first place. We human beings lead pleasure-seeking lives. Our almost every behavior seeks a pleasureful reward in return, whether we're aware of it or not. The chemical reactions in our brains associated with pleasure are also the lock and key to obsessive-compulsive behavior, drug abuse, relaxation, excitement, euphoria, and neuroplasticity. We're already experiencing biochemical reactions in our bodies as a result of your design. But in order for you to control them, you must first understand what they are and what they do. Then define and design how you will use them. There are about 100 billion neurons in the human brain that communicate with each other through brain chemicals called neurotransmitters. But don't worry, we only need to concern ourselves with the 6 major pleasure chemicals that regulate our human body. The reason being is that pleasure is the catalyst of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. The brain has the ability to change at any age, for better or for worse. And as you can imagine, this flexibility plays an incredibly important role in our brain's development or decline, and in shaping our distinct personalities and behaviors. To put it into perspective, each time we learn a new dance step, it reflects a change in our physical brains, creating new wiring or neural pathways that give instructions to our bodies on how to perform that step. Every time you forget someone's name, it also reflects a brain change. Wires that once connected to the memory get degraded or even severed. As these examples show, changes in the brain can result in improved skills or a weakening of skills. The science of neuroplasticity and the brain is the scientific basis for achieving harmony at work. Neurons must be correctly stimulated in order for them to form beneficial connections. The pleasure chemicals secreted by our brains in response to activities tell the brain what neural connections are beneficial and reinforce them, making them stronger and longer lasting. Integrated urban ICT networks in smart cities can deliver real-time social welfare services that manipulate these pleasure centers on a micro and macro scale simultaneously, depending on the needs of the community at any given point in time. For instance, the monitoring of social media may alert a smart city that tensions are heightening because of a controversial court decision, police action, or any other instance of agitation, polarizing various diversity segments of the population. A smart city connected to the Internet of Things can react to target populations with mechanisms that generate the pleasure chemical oxytocin in their brains through positive social behaviors that bring the diverse community together and remediate their social interactions with one another. Why? Well, oxytocin is the chemical foundation for bonding and trusting others. It makes us care about others in tangible ways, and it motivates us to work together for a common purpose. It's a scientific fact. The social bonding properties of oxytocin even cause men to interact with attractive women at a greater physical distance, which is helpful in reducing sexual harassment. Oxytocin even helps cement behavioral therapy for children with autism. The higher levels of oxytocin reinforce our social memories. A few activities that increase our oxytocin levels, opening us up to bond with and trust others, are sharing a meal, petting an animal that you're fond of, like a cat if you're a cat person, or a dog if you're a dog person, meditation, the most effective being a practice called metta, the scent of lavender, using social media, even playing cooperative multiplayer video games. So now the question is, how can a smart city react with biofeedback techniques to calm a tense situation? Well, as tensions begin to rise, and the key would be to catch on to it early, lavender patches planted around the city could be stimulated to aerate the premises. While the community's oxytocin levels rise with the scent of lavender, electronic billboards or other signage can facilitate the metta meditation, focusing on others, reciting specific words and phrases to evoke a boundless, warm-hearted feeling, increasing even more oxytocin. The practice begins with oneself gradually extending the wish for well-being and happiness to all beings. As I imagine it, a virtual guru appears throughout the city, encouraging passersby to sit in a comfortable and relaxed manner, then to take slow, long, deep breaths while letting go of any concerns or preoccupations. The guru encourages the community to mentally repeat slowly and steadily phrases such as, or similar to, "May I be happy," "May I be well," "May I be safe," "May I be peaceful," and at ease, all while allowing the participants to sink into the intentions that they express. The practice leads the community to connect to the feelings of warmth, friendliness, or love that arise in their bodies or minds, allowing them to grow as they repeat the phrases. After directing loving kindness towards themselves, participants will need to bring in a friend or someone they care deeply about to mind, or someone in their life who has cared deeply for them, slowly repeating phrases of loving kindness towards them. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. Now this is where I see social media chiming in, rather than the virtual billboard meditation guru, because it becomes much more personal. Now that the population's elevated levels of oxytocin have them more susceptible to bonding with and trusting others, mobile apps like Foursquare's Swarm can turn the real world into a cooperative game where you can earn points, collect stickers, and compete, or team up with people you know to earn prizes, become the mayor, extend streaks, and any other rewards integrated into your app. Providing a world full of amazing experiences like this allows users to embrace the interconnected world and develop new, diverse, and unthought-of relationships with others. Any two people on Earth are only 6 or fewer acquaintance links apart. We all know someone who knows someone we know, and so on. This kind of interactivity should not solely live in our smartphones, though. It should be incorporated into our surrounding physical environment where society can truly interact with one another in a positive way. Therefore, a scavenger hunt can begin with close friends who bring in their friends and friends of their friends, leading to strangers that we don't know who are associated with the groups that we might have tension with, ultimately leading us to a new bond of friendship with representatives of that group. Now, this might sound ridiculous, but our prehistoric ancestors were on a constant quest to survive. Their brains were rewarded with a surge of one of the most well-known pleasure chemicals, dopamine, every time they spotted a new patch of berries or a better fishing hole. Why? That was a discovery and behavior necessary to live to see another day. The dopamine helped to hardwire their brains to continue those actions instinctively. Now, this is neuroplasticity. While we can still pick berries and fish, there are endless other healthy ways that we can enjoy our quest for survival in modern day life. We can forage for new music to download, specialty ingredients to cook with, a bargain travel package, a hard-to-find collector's item, or that perfect gift for a loved one. We can engage in specifically quest-oriented hobbies like geocaching, bird watching, rock hounding, amateur archaeology, and collecting of all different kinds. All of these activities reward us with the pleasure of dopamine when we find what we're looking for. So you can see how a scavenger hunt-like component of Swarm can bring a community of differences together to enjoy what they have in common, like a restaurant, a band, specific music, or whatever. On one hand, it opens us up to bond with and trust others, while on the other, it rewards us with even more pleasure to discover exciting new things together. And in the end, with all of this pleasure stimuli, the brains of any society, no matter how diverse, can be rewired to get along better together through this positive social behavior therapy.